don't know, maybe love bombing. That happens a lot to me.
Yeah, as in guys will love bomb you straight away?
Yeah, so like, well, maybe they just get so obsessed that they actually think they do want it, and then they realise I'm a freak, and then they're like out. I've been like not ghosted, but like I've had some weird situations happen.
Really?
This past year.
Tell us like the weirdest one that you just didn't get it.
Well, I mean, it's not really like, it's more just that they love bomb me. They kind of promise me the world, like saying that we're gonna get like, you know, making me like imagine our like wedding and stuff. Like they're talking about the future, everything. So I'm like, oh, could be going somewhere. I then start getting excited thinking about the future.
Yeah.
And then, on a couple of occasions now in slightly different situations, but that they've just tapped out and ghosted me. One guy actually just voice noted me to say that he's not feeling it anymore because I found out that he'd banged his cleaner.
Oh.
Yeah, so I found out that he'd banged his cleaner, and then he was the one that voice noted me and said he doesn't think that this is working out.
How did you find out?
I went on his phone.
Cordy.
I'm sorry, I don't usually do it.
Why did you do that?
Because I knew, like...
You knew you could smell...
I fucking knew it.
The bleach on him from the cleaner.
No, right? So I have a very good like intuition. Like when my gut knows something.
She's crazy.
I'm fucking crazy. Let me tell you this story because
okay.
I knew, and I actually wanted him to prove me. I wanted to go on the phone just for him to prove me wrong. Like I'm really not about going on people's phones. I respect people's privacy.
You sure?
Usually, but on this occasion, so. I was kept going to visit him because he lived not a bit far away. So it would always be like, 2-3 nights at a time.
Yeah, of course.
And I kept seeing this girl's name like pop up on his phone. And I was like, I can't remember the name now. Anyway, and I was like, but when I kept noticing it and then tried to like ask, I was like, oh, who's that? Because we were in the car and she came up on the dashboard thing. And he was like, oh, it's just a cleaner. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, she's minging. She's so gross. Like, she's like proper like scatty. Like, she's got like 4 kids. She's minging, like all this stuff. Like, she's skinny.
Did you just offer that information after me just asking?
Yeah.
Bro, what are you doing? That just
what
looks suspect.
Doing?
This looks
so
suspect.
So then I was like, okay. But then he carries on and he's like, yeah, no, I've learned from like my mates and stuff not to bang your cleaner because things get messy.
That's why I might, because she's there to clean.
Yeah, he's like, it gets he was like, I learned my lesson from like some of my friends in situations.
Okay.
He was like, so yeah, I mean, I would never bang her, and I was like, where are you going with this? Like, how did we get onto this? Like,
well, I asked.
I'm like, how?
I
was like, how did we get here? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, weird, but I'll leave it. And then I think it was the next day, and she was like popping up again, and I was like, why are they texting so much? Like, if she's just the cleaner.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then he went outside in the garden. I'm like, I feel like the universe wanted me to look on his phone. So
no,
listen.
Carry on.
So I was just there doing my makeup in the mirror, and then I looked down and his phone was on the windowsill, and I was like, oh my god. I was like,
she had the angel here.
I was like,
and the devil
yeah, literally.
Here.
Honestly, it was like I felt like I was in a movie, and they was like, don't do it. I was like, fuck. I was like, right, it's now or never. This is my only chance. And okay, this is slightly psycho because I had I did have a feeling that I was going to need to look through his phone at some point, like, again, intuition.
Wait, before that moment or after that moment?
This is before. So this is, like, early in. I mean, he did tell me. So we're like, joking. He said something about his phone, and he's like, oh, yeah, he joked and was like, oh, yeah, my code's, my pin's this if you ever need it. I don't care. You can go on my phone, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So when he said that as a joke, a bit later on, I was like, oh, I need to remember that just in case. So I put it in my notes.
Siri, record the code 5821.
I put it in my notes, right? So I know. Okay. Anyway, this is not my proudest moment. Okay, it's really not. Anyway, so I was like, fuck it. So I went on it, and then I went on the messages, and it was like some had been deleted. So there was like hardly any messages, and then like a couple where I could see that he'd replied, but I couldn't see the messages. You know when you delete on iMessage, but it says it won't say message deleted, they just disappear. But then there was like when you've replied to something, it says replied to or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how, but I could see that it was like not all there and that he'd definitely like deleted some. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, weird. So then I went on WhatsApp, same again, like a bit all weird. But there was one like there was one message like, oh yeah, come over whenever, I'm just getting in the shower or something. And I was like, interesting. So then I'd already found her on Instagram like a week before. So then I went on.
How did you find her a week before?
Because
It's all coming out now.
because obviously I kept seeing her name, so I went, all girls do this, guys do this too. If you keep seeing your name on somebody's phone that you're dating,
We don't really look on girls' phone.
no, I'm not on her phone. I just went on his Instagram, went on followers, and typed in her
But
name
But you knew her name because you'd seen her pop up on his
on his phone. So then I went on his followers and just saw who.
I guess people might do that.
Or he was following. Yeah, I know, a bit satisfying.
No, it's okay.
He didn't bring out the best of me, clearly. And then, yeah, anyway, and then it went on Instagram messages.
Yeah.
And that's where all the dirt was. That it was like, oh, last night was great, blah, blah, blah. You're the most expensive cleaner I've ever had and stuff. And then she's like, yeah, but I'm probably the best, no? Or like all this weird chat.
Okay.
Basically them talking about them banging
Right.
on like multiple occasions.
Okay.
And it was like, maybe it was definitely like, I felt like there was a crossover from when we had first started like seeing each other, which is
Yeah.
fine because we weren't exclusive or anything, and I wasn't bothered about that.
Sure.
I was bothered about how much he'd lied about it, because I think I had asked him again something about her, and he'd lied again. And you know when you know someone's lying, like I'm so good at knowing when men are lying. Anyway, so then I was like, fuck, what do I do now? Because now I can't say anything, but I know the truth, and I should have probably left it.
Yeah.
But I was sat in the room and he comes upstairs and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. And you could tell that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh fuck, I may as well just say it. So I was like, I know you banged the cleaner. And he was like, what? He was like, no, I didn't. He was like, why would you say that? No, I didn't. And I was like, yeah, you did. And he was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, I've seen the messages. And he was like, how? What do you mean? And I was like, because I went on your phone. At this point, I knew the relationship was going nowhere, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to be honest. So I was like, I went on your phone.
That's good to be honest.
But then I was like, I went on your phone and he was like, there isn't any messages, because he'd obviously already been through them and deleted them just in case. Yeah, so he thought. And he was like, there isn't any messages. He was like, I'll get my phone now and show you like that. I'm like, he was like, I'll show you the WhatsApps and I'll show you the texts. I was like, but will you show me the Instagram messages? And he must have thought, fuck, how has this girl done this? Anyway, yeah, and I was like, I don't care. I just don't get why he lied. And then,
well, you know why he lied. You do know why he lied.
Why?
Why do
Because
you
he didn't
think?
want to tell me.
Yeah, but why do you think he didn't want to tell you?
Because he didn't. I don't know. Because he didn't want to tell me that. I don't know.
Because maybe you would have ended things.
Oh.
Were you guys exclusive?
No, but that's what I mean.
Okay.
I wasn't bothered about him sleeping with someone else. I was bothered about how much he'd gone into like detail of lying.
So let's say you're in the car, you're in that situation, right?
Yeah.
Before this has happened.
Yeah.
That name comes up. Let's say her name's Cassandra.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, who's Cassandra? He goes, oh, it's just a girl that I have fun with time to time.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that?
I'd be like, oh, okay, nice. And then
And you wouldn't have an issue with it?
no, I'd be a bit like, why are you texting her whilst I'm here? But I wouldn't be bothered about the fact that he's still seeing her.
Okay, first.
But I mean, it would.
I think you should have been honest.
Yeah, it would have been a bit weird, to be fair, if he'd been like, oh, it's my cleaner, yeah, we bang sometimes. Then I would have been like, why? What?
Did you expect him to be dating you exclusively at that point? Or to be sleeping with you exclusively at that point?
Maybe by that point, yeah.
Well, that's probably why.
But yeah, but not at the start. Like, you know, if there was a crossover, I wouldn't have expected him to just be, you know, seeing me. But I think now I'm speaking about this back, it is a bit crazy that I went on his phone. I know. But anyway, so then he then then the next day, we were like arguing, whatever. I went for a walk, and then I came back and we just got like started arguing, but then as soon as he was like, he flipped it and obviously was like, why the fuck are you going through my phone? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then, so we had a big argument, but then because he flipped it, I then felt like, fuck, he's going to end things. So as soon as he flipped it, I was then the one groveling for the rest of the time that I was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then went home, and then a couple of days later, he voice noted me and was like, this isn't working, sorry.
Was the argument about...
The argument was about...
Was the argument about him not disclosing that he had history with this other girl, or was the argument about you going through his phone?
the argument was about it, me going through his phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so but he did flip it, and he did he did actually turn into a bit of a dick about it, because all I said to him was, I was like, I know you did, and I was like, I literally was like this. I was like, I don't care that you fucked her.
I know, but obviously for him, that's not what the focus is
No,
it?
I know, but then I was like, no, but I was saying as in he was still lying, and I was like, I don't care, just tell me, just admit it, and then we can move on from this.
Yeah.
And then obviously he was like, why the fuck are you gonna be my phone? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Did he apologize, and did you apologize?
Yeah, we both did.
But like, you didn't want to.
Well, yeah, we both did. So then, because I had to stay there for another night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was staying with him. So I either got a 2-hour train home during this argument, and I don't usually like to leave things on an argument, even if you know.
Of course.
Anyway, and then so then we both apologized, said that we were both in the wrong. I was like, I would never go on your phone again, and I don't usually. Literally, I promise when I say that, promise I don't usually go on people's phones. I'd prefer not to see it, because we all it's your private space, your time, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you went on girls' group chats and stuff, like people would have a field day. But it's like it's private stuff.
Yeah.
So I promise I don't usually. But anyway, yeah, so we apologised, and then 2 days later, yeah, he voice noted me saying it's not for him.
I get that. How long have you guys been seeing each other at that point?
Not that long, like 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
it's
at that
early
point,
for me to go. Yeah, I know.
Well, I think at that point it's kind of
like a therapy session.
Well, no, I guess we're just because it's one of those situations where you see both sides. Like I can easily see why you would have that curiosity and you want to find out for you. Like, yeah, I want to know is he operating this way? I can accept if he is, but I just want to know if he is, right?
I just wanted to know.
And he shouldn't have lied to you.
Yeah.
I completely agree, right? But obviously, yeah, at the same time, that you shouldn't be going through his phone, especially like you're not even in a relationship.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. It was a bad moment.
And that's okay. Like, we live and learn in that sense. Do you think that, because I think it is very common that when a guy is dating a girl, especially if he's been dating her for like longer than a month or so, a couple of months, you may not explicitly say, but I think there is this false impression that she's the only one that he is being intimate with. Yeah. And I think that sometimes, and tell me what you think, I think girls don't address it because they don't want to know the truth if it's not what they hope it is. But then when there's something that comes up that may suggest it's the thing they don't want it to be, then it's like, okay, I have to know because I've built this image of us and this vision of us in my head. And in my head, he's not being physical with anyone else. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does make sense. But I think like usually you kind of know what the vibe is from how it go. Like if I don't know how to explain it. Like if he wasn't talking to me about marriage and lives together and me moving into his house and stuff, like this is what I mean also by love bombing. It was all very intense very quickly. Yeah. Like he was literally telling me when my like rent was running out because it was like a temporary place that I was in. Yeah. He's like, don't rent anywhere else, just move in with me. And I'm like, we've been dating for like 2 months, but it was just like a lot. It was like a lot really real quick, you know? Yeah. Went from 0 to 100 very quick. So then I think, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I think you usually just know if you're like exclusive with it. So he was being very serious with you. I think this is something that's hard for women to understand. A guy can be taking you seriously, but he can still have sex with someone else. Oh yeah, definitely. No, I know that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So all of that stuff, at least in the moment, he could have meant all those things, and he could have been like, "No, I am seeing my future with you. I do think of us in that sense." Yeah. But he's still having his play elsewhere. Yeah. Now, obviously, whether you is right for you, whether you can accept that, that's dependent on the couple, right? Yeah, and definitely. That's for you to decide. But I think sometimes it's about recognizing that his investment in you is the time that he spends with you, not who he doesn't have sex with. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because, and I get it, because as a woman, like naturally, if you're dating a guy and you like him, you're probably not having sex with multiple guys. He's probably the only one you're having sex with 9 times out of 10. But guys just generally don't work that way. Yeah, because I think sex is a lot more of like, usually, earlier on, I think sex is a lot more emotional for girls. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, when you're in a relationship, it's the same for both. But I feel like, as you say, like when you're starting out, girls like,
it does something to girls because you immediately feel like connected to them, and like you want them more. Do you know what I mean? Because you have this connection with them now.
Yeah. Well, there's a biological thing.
I was about to say it's actually
Yeah. So when a girl orgasms with makeup, her body releases oxytocin, the hormone, which is the bonding hormone.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have really good sex with a guy, you are naturally bonding yourself emotionally to him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is why a lot of the time, if a girl is kind of just having casual sex and stuff, a lot of the time she actually won't orgasm because she's not open. It is harder for her to get to that level of climax, especially for women. There's a level of vulnerability that has to be there. And if she's having sex kind of in a typical masculine way, which is, oh, I'm just here to have fun and that's it.
Yeah.
Then it means she's not really open to intimacy. And it takes, for most women, it takes intimacy for them to have that amazing climax.
Yeah.
So when you do, you're like, your body's like, hold him tight.
Yeah.
Hold him close.
Keep him close.
Keep him close, right?
Yeah.
That's why after you do, the first thing you want to do is you want to cuddle.
Yeah. I know,
yeah,
that's wild.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.